This really helps us to explore one of the key themes of the exhibition, which is how diamonds have been deployed by monarchs and other rulers over the centuries.
Imagine the special significance of a piece of jewellery that represents the entire reign of a monarch. Today's story centres on the crucial moment when Princess Anne...
Because my mother didn't change very much, we kind of knew what the rhythm of the year was. So things like that will change, and how we are part of the support for the monarchy may change slightly.
Queen's dedicated daughter decides to give the famous Jubilee brooch to Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Because my mother didn't change very much and kind of knew what the rhythm of the year was. So things like that will change, and how we are part of the support for the monarchy may change slightly. At the same time, she gracefully rejects Camilla's claim to it. This story goes beyond the beautiful diamonds and sapphires shining in the palace. It's about royal tradition, family loyalty, and the tension that can arise when respecting the past while looking to the future. We'll explore the rich history of the brooch, from its creation during national celebrations to its enduring symbolism. We'll also look at the careful review process that led to this important choice, the family dynamics involved, and the heartfelt handover that confirmed Catherine's key role in the royal line of succession. The narrative highlights the human side of the Windsors, showing how duty, love, and legacy connect in ways that resonate with us all. Join me in discovering the elegant details of this story. A reminder of how powerful symbols like this brooch connect the past to the future. You won't want to miss how it all happened. Let's step into the story, the Queen's legacy, and the brooch's sacred history. To understand the importance of transferring the Jubilee brooch and its emotional impact on the royal family, we should look at Queen Elizabeth II's remarkable reign. Her time as Queen lasted 7 decades and was filled with dedication, celebrations, and a strong commitment to tradition, including both successes and challenges. The Jubilee brooch is a significant piece of royal jewellery. It was created in 1977 to celebrate Queen Elizabeth's Silver Jubilee, marking 25 years of her reign after the tough post-war years. Made by the crown jeweller Gerard & Company in London, the brooch features a central oval sapphire, deep blue like the ocean. It is surrounded by a floral design made of pave-set diamonds and some gold accents symbolizing the strength of the monarchy and the unity of the realms she served. Elizabeth first wore it during the grand balcony appearance at Buckingham Palace on June 7, 1977. The excitement of the crowd filled the air and she pinned it to her pastel gown, radiating a smile as aircraft flew overhead. Over time, the brooch became even more special. For her Golden Jubilee in 2002, it was reset with more sapphires to celebrate 50 years of her rule. These added stones sparkled in the light at state banquets, filled with the clatter of crystal glasses and diplomatic conversation in grand places like Windsor Castle's state dining room. Elizabeth would share stories about the brooch during family teas, perhaps over cucumber sandwiches and Earl Grey tea at Sandringham, reminiscing about how it held the spirit of the people's joy during her reign. The brooch also served as a reminder of her responsibilities during quieter moments like her weekly meetings with prime ministers. Its weight a calm presence on her shoulder. After her passing in September 2022 at Balmoral, the brooch was carefully kept in a secure vault at Buckingham Palace alongside other treasures. This vault, monitored by security, held the brooch in a calm and still environment, preserving its history and beauty. In the weeks following her death, as the nation mourned and flowers piled up outside the palace, a thorough review of the collection began, led by senior courtiers. Princess Anne, Elizabeth's reliable daughter, played a key role in this process. Known for her practicality, and carefully examined the jewellery, remembering personal moments with her mother, including the time Elizabeth wore the brooch during a rehearsal for the Diamond Jubilee in 2012. Camilla, now Queen Consort, had shown interest in the brooch during a tea with Charles, suggesting it would be a suitable tribute to honour Elizabeth's jubilees. Charles appreciated her idea, but later in a private conversation, and felt a strong commitment to tradition. Generally, significant pieces like the brooch go to the next Queen Consort, which would be Catherine. Catherine, known for her poise at state events and her strong family role, seemed to be the right choice. The decision was developing, balancing family feelings and royal customs within the palace. The vault review and quiet determination. Walking into Buckingham Palace's jewel vault felt like entering a time capsule. This secure, dimly lit room is hidden below the grand staterooms. The reinforced doors close with a quiet click, locking visitors inside. The air is always calm and dry, maintained at 18 degrees Celsius to protect the treasures. The walls are lined with rows of velvet-lined drawers, each labeled in elegant writing and secured with biometric scanners. Subtle laser grids cross the space like invisible guards. LED lights imitate natural daylight to prevent fading. On an overcast Tuesday morning in late October 2022, Princess Anne arrived at the vault. Her practical brogues made soft sounds on the tiled floor as she moved through the narrow aisles. She wore a no-fuss tweed skirt suit and blouse with her hair tied back in a simple shiny. Accompanying her was the keeper of the jewels, Miss Eleanor Hargrove. She was in her 50s, wore glasses, and held a ledger. Her voice was a whisper in the stillness of the vault. Together, they carefully catalogued the collection. They opened drawers with gloved hands to show various treasures. The girls of Great Britain and Ireland. Tiara ready for Catherine's future coronets. The Burmese ruby tiara for diplomatic gifts and necklaces and earrings that Queen Elizabeth wore at significant events such as the 1953 coronation and the 1981 wedding of Charles and Diana. Anne was drawn to the Jubilee brooch when she opened its compartment. Inside a small black velvet box, the brooch sparkled in the light. The central sapphire was deep blue similar to the ocean, surrounded by delicate diamonds representing harmony among the realms with gold filigree adding warmth. Anne carefully held it, feeling the metal warm in her hand. Memories flooded back. The 1977 Silver Jubilee Parade where Elizabeth pinned the brooch during a fitting at Windsor Castle. The room filled with the scent of blooming roses. They shared a laugh as the Queen adjusted it on her gown, joking that the lucky blue would keep off the rain during the outdoor event. By the time of the 2002 Golden Jubilee, the brooch had been set with sapphires to mark the 50-year celebration. Elizabeth wore it during family gatherings at Balmoral, reflecting on her decades of service amid the cozy atmosphere. About a week earlier, Camilla had expressed interest in the brooch during afternoon tea at Clarence's house, where the setting was elegant with soft pastels and the aroma of Darjeeling tea. Seated with Charles, Camilla suggested, "Darling, the Jubilee brooch would be a fitting tribute to Mother's remarkable jubilees, something for me to honor those milestones." Charles agreed, reflecting a mix of affection and difficult decisions, appreciating how Camilla had embraced her role. Later, when Anne learned about this in a call from Windsor Castle, she felt a strong determination forming. Tradition favored passing such essential pieces to the next Queen Consort, which Catherine seemed destined for. Catherine's composed presence at state functions, and her dedication to raising George, Charlotte, and Louis in the sunny Kensington nursery, mirrored Elizabeth's quiet strength. And decided it was her duty to maintain the Queen's vision of continuity and ensure the brooch story continued through the family line. This was not a slight against Camilla, whose loyalty and endurance Anne respected, but a necessary act to preserve the brooch's significance. The private ceremony and Camilla's graceful refusal. The ceremony for the brooch's transfer took place in the Oak Room at Kensington Palace on a sunny afternoon in May 2023. This location was meaningful because of its history and comfort. The warm light shone through the tall windows, lighting up the polished oak walls. Outside, the scent of blooming orange blossoms mingled with the antique furniture scent. The room was set up with care. A semicircle of velvet chairs surrounded a low mahogany table. On the table sat a silver tea service with steaming Earl Grey tea and delicate china cups adorned in gold. A tiered stand displayed freshly baked shortbread biscuits that smelled buttery and sweet, reminding everyone of the lovely teas had hosted in the past. Fresh flowers from the palace gardens, lilies and roses in soft colors, decorated the mantel, their open petals symbolizing new beginnings. In the center of the table rested a single velvet box in deep navy, hinting at the treasure inside. Catherine arrived first, looking elegant in a cream silk blouse and knee-length wool skirt. Her dark hair framed her face. She shared a meaningful glance with William, who supported her with a gentle hand on her back. Soon, Camilla and Charles entered. Camilla wore a floral print dress and Charles was in a classic navy suit. Both looked warm and welcoming. Princess Anne stood at the center dressed in a tweed skirt suit holding the Jubilee brooch. She said, "Mother's collection is more than just jewels. Each piece represents her spirit and achievements. This brooch stands for important milestones and belongs with the future Queen Consort Catherine." Catherine stepped forward, looking humble as unpinned the brooch onto her lapel. "I'll wear it with pride for her memory and our family's future," she said, touched by the importance of the moment. Camilla smiled and supported the choice while Charles lifted his teacup in a toast to continuity. This moment showed Anne's decision, grounded in tradition and duty. They shared memories of Elizabeth's jubilees, bringing the family together in reflection rather than division. Palace whispers and family reflections. After the Oak Room ceremony, whispers spread through the halls of Kensington Palace. Staff exchanged glances as they polished silver and folded linen. Mrs. Patel, the head housekeeper, told the butler that Lady Anne's choice of the brooch for Catherine was wise and would make Her Majesty happy. The butler agreed, saying, "Anne is now the protector of the royal line." That evening, in the warm light of the Kensington nursery, Catherine shared with William that the brooch felt like a blessing from her late mother-in-law. They remembered the special moments shared during family gatherings. William said Anne's choice was about keeping traditions alive for their children, George, Charlotte, and Louis. Meanwhile, Anne drove home to Gatcombe Park, recalling talks with Elizabeth about royal treasures and their importance. At Clarence's house, Camilla recognized Anne's decision as right for Catherine, showing the family's respect for one another. This choice brought them closer and strengthened Anne's role as the protector of their shared history. Catherine wore the Jubilee brooch for the first time at a garden party at Buckingham Palace in June 2023. The event had 8,000 guests and was full of blooming flowers. Catherine looked elegant in a pale blue silk dress and classic updo with the brooch sparkling on her lapel. The media quickly covered this moment, with the Daily Telegraph calling it a symbol of continuity. The Times noted the royal legacy of such gifts. Social media buzzed with #Jubilee trending as fans praised Catherine for her elegance. Many comments highlighted her ability to honor tradition without causing controversy. In the following weeks, Camilla made public appearances wearing her own jewelry collection, including the Burmese ruby tiara. The media remarked on the difference in their styles without suggesting any rivalry. This led to discussions about jewelry craftsmanship in Catherine's fashion, which linked different eras. Overall, the brooch symbolized the monarchy's lasting elegance and a smooth transition to the next generation. The transfer had a significant effect on the royal family and strengthened their hidden ties. After the ceremony, Princess Anne and Catherine began having private lunches at Windsor Castle, enjoying nature and the sounds of nearby horses. During meals of poached salmon and fresh salads, they talked about legacy. Anne shared stories from her mother's reign and advised Catherine to wear the brooch as both protection and guidance. Catherine replied that it helps guide their family's future. At a family gathering at Anmore Hall, William praised Anne for choosing Catherine for the brooch, highlighting its meaning for the next generation. And confirmed that this choice was what their mother wanted, continuity through family. Camilla showed her support at a charity event and complimented Catherine on the brooch's representation of hope. There were no signs of rivalry. Instead, Camilla's acceptance showed wisdom, and her jewelry choices honored her roles without overshadowing the symbols of succession. Anne's guidance helped bring the family together, ensuring Elizabeth's influence continues to support them through modern challenges. The brooch's new chapter and enduring symbolism. After the transfer was completed, the Jubilee brooch began a new chapter with Catherine. It symbolizes continuity in the royal family and honors Elizabeth's legacy. Catherine first wore the brooch during the Trooping the Colour parade in June 2023. It shimmered against her tailored pale blue coat, capturing Elizabeth's joyful spirit as she stood with William and their children on the Buckingham Palace balcony. The brooch appeared again at a state dinner at Windsor Castle in autumn 2023. It complemented Catherine's emerald gown and received praise from international guests. Media outlets noted its significance. Vogue highlighted its craftsmanship with ethically sourced diamonds, while The Guardian called it a statement of succession. Public interest grew as social media users remembered Elizabeth wearing the brooch. Catherine's use of it became a symbol of legacy, showing Elizabeth's spirit of unity. Princess Anne chose to pass the brooch to Catherine, thereby rejecting Camilla's claim, thereby emphasizing the importance of royal traditions. This ceremony filled with memories of Elizabeth showed royal elegance and strength, proving that true royal power comes from family bonds. What does this legacy mean to you? If inspired by this post, subscribe for more and comment below. Would you like to see Catherine wear it at the next event? Thank you for joining me. Let's keep celebrating the stories that connect.